Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 11, texts 22 to 27. So Arjuna is speaking and describing the universal form. Rudraditya Vasavo ye cha sadhya Vishveshvinau Marutaschoshmapascha Gandharva Yaksha Surasiddha Sangha Vikshante Tvam Vismitas Chaiva Sarve. So he is explaining, he is describing what all he is seeing in the universal form. The different manifestations of Rudraditya Vasavo Yecha Sadhya, Lord Shiva, the Adityas, the Vasus, the Sadhyas, Vishveshvinau, the Vishwadevas, the two Aswini Kumaras, Marutas cha Usmapascha, the Maruts, the forefathers, Gandharva Yaksha Asura Siddha Sanghaha, Gandharvas, Yakshas, Asuras, all perfected beings, Vikshitas Sarve, Vismitaha, Vikshante Tvam, they are beholding you in wonder. This proves again that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and great demigods are beholding him in wonder. Rupam Mahatte Bahuvaktra Netram Mahabaho Bahubahurupadam Bahudaram Bahudamstrakaralam Drishtva Loka Pravyathitas. And then Arjuna is saying, O mighty armed Krishna, Mahabaho, all the planets with their demigods are disturbed at seeing. Drishtva lokaha pravyathitaha. They're all disturbed upon seeing this form which contains Rupam Mahat Bahuvaktra Netram, with many eyes, many faces, arms, bellies, Bahu Rupadam, thighs, legs, and Damstra Karalam, your terrible teeth. And as they are disturbed, Pravyatitaha Tadha Aham, I am also disturbed. So this is a terrible form that great people even are disturbed by this. So this is one of the most important, most interesting features of the Supreme Lord. He can be the most Saumya, as soft as a lotus petal, or he can appear the most terrible, because God must be the composite of everything. Like Narsimhadev, he appeared in a most fiercest, angriest avatar. And Krishna also appeared like a small, innocent, lovely baby. So God must be able to display everything, because everything comes from God and he displays it to the ultimate perfection. So these two opposing, contrasting things can be reconciled only in God. That is why God is special. Krishna is special. And then the next verse it says, Nabah sprusham deeptam aneka varnam vyattananam deepta vishala netram drishtva hitvam pramyathitantaratma dhritim na vindami shamam cha Vishno. So Nabah sprusham deeptam. This is the motto of Indian Air Force. If you go and look for it, they have it in writing. Nabah sprusham deeptam. It starts with this. It is named after this verse from Bhagavad Gita 11.24. That means touching the sky with glory. So Krishna, Arjuna is saying, your form is touching the sky. Nabaha sprusham. And it's glowing. Deeptam. Aneka varnam. With many colors. Radiant colors. Vyattananam. Your open mouths. Beholding your eyes and mouths, I am afraid. Vyathananam deepta vishala netram društva, seeing all this, pravyathitantaratma dhritim na vindami. I am not able to find my equilibrium. I can no longer maintain my equilibrium. Dhritim, steadiness, and shamam, mental tranquility, na vindami. Damstrakaraళani chate mukhani दृष्ट्वैव कालानलसन्निभानि दिशो न जाने न लभे च शर्मा प्रसीद देवेश जगन्निवासा. So, Tamstrakaralani, your teeth, I cannot keep my balance seeing your blazing, awful teeth and death like faces. Te mukhani, Damstrakaralani drishtva, kalanala sannibhani. It's like kalanala means the fire of death. Usually, death itself, the fire itself, when it's blazing, it is very dangerous and horrible to face. And what to speak of the fire of death? Kala nala sannibhani, disho na jane na labhe cha sharma. In all directions, I am bewildered. I am not able to find peace. So, prasida devesha, please be pleased with me, O Jagan Nivasa, refuge of the worlds. And then 26 and 27, Prabhupada gives purport. And the verses are अमी च त्वां धृतराष्ट्रस्य पुत्राः सर्वे सहैवावनिपालसङ्घैः भीष्मो द्रोणः सूतपुत्रस्तथासौ सहास्मदीयैरपि योधमुख्यैः वक्त्राणि ते त्वरमाणा विशन्ति दंष्ट्राकरालानि भयानकानि केचित् विलग्ना दशनान्तरेषु सन्दृश्यन्ते चूर्णितैरुत्तमाङ्गैः. So all the sons of Dhritarashtra along with their allied kings. Dhritarashtrasya putraha sarve saha eva avanipala sanghaha. Sons of Dhritarashtra along with their allied kings. And even Bhishmaha Dronaha Sutaputrastadhasau Sahasmadiyair api yodha mukhyaihi. Bhishma, Drona, Sutaputra, Karna, and even Asmadiyair Yodhaihi, all our soldiers are rushing into your teeth. Vaktrani Twaramana Vishanti. They're entering your teeth and their heads are smashed. Damstra Karalani Bhayanakani. Dashanantareshu Sandrishyante Churnitaihi Uttamangaihi. Their heads are smashed by your fearful teeth. I see that some are being crushed between your teeth as well. So you see how Arjuna is seeing all these things. Arjuna is seeing the leaders of the opposite party, Bhishma, Drona, Karna, and all the sons of Dhritarashtra and their soldiers. And even Arjuna's own soldiers are being annihilated. So this is an indication that Arjuna will emerge victorious in battle, despite heavy losses on both sides. Even Bhishma, who is supposed to be unconquerable, will also be smashed. So also Karna. So you see how duty is more important than attachments. Krishna is showing that this is going to happen, inevitable. But you have to do your duty. You cannot say, oh, anyway, it is going to happen. What should I do? Uh, it's anyway going to happen. Let me go away. No, you should do. If your duty, you find something not correct, your duty is to correct it. Or Your duty is to act according to what is prescribed for you. Like it is said that Abraham Lincoln, during the American Civil War, he had lot of allies and friends from slave owners. They were his supporters. And he was faced with a dilemma. Should I eliminate slavery, fight towards it, or protect my friends and allies and keep my position? But he still chose to fight the slavery because he said, if slavery is not wrong, nothing in the world is wrong. So, therefore, even though at the cost of his own supporters and friends, he fought for it. And he became famous for that. So, Arjuna, in this case, you see, he might be thinking, Krishna knows. Arjuna is thinking, they are my friends, they are my superiors. I'm attached to them. Oh, how can I kill them? Like there was one soldier who was fighting this battle, and from a distance, he knew that there was on the other side, there was his childhood friend who was very good friends with him. And instantly, he drew compassion. Oh, how can I kill my childhood friend? And then he was thinking like that. And meanwhile, the other camp, they became very ferocious and the damage was already done. And then he realized, for saving one friend, I lost 100 friends of mine, which is a bigger damage. And then finally he woke up and fought. But then he was punished later for his lethargy during the fight. So we always try to side on the side of going easy. Why should I do something which is out of my comfort zone? Duty is very painful. Like in World War II, it is said, before World War II, many leaders they knew that Hitler was dangerous. But still they had a good working relation and they had some give and take policies. They were gaining something from it. And they did not dare to point out and act on it. And finally, they did act, but by the time they lost millions of lives, and the war has become so big that the damage was phenomenal. So we might think in our own way that what I feel, what I like to do is better, is important. But by doing the duty, it might be painful in the beginning. Just like a doctor tells the parent, "Oh, this is going to hurt. This is going to hurt your child. There will be a lot of blood, but he will come out healthier after this surgery. I need to take this out, or I need to repair this." And the parent, out of great reluctance, but out of goodwill, good future for the child, he agrees reluctantly. So duty is like that. It is said that even during our own Indian history, there was one king called Rana Pratap Singh. It was in few centuries ago, and he had to fight Akbar, and he had a lot of friends apparently who was siding with Akbar to get some goodies from him and all that. But he didn't care for that. He still announced the battle. or he had to protect himself. So he fought and he maintained his dignity. It seems Akbar won the battle, but he couldn't conquer Rana Pratap Singh. So Rana Pratap Singh stayed in these forests for a long time. He built his own army and again captured most of his Mewar kingdom. Eventually, he died, but not getting captured or killed in the war. But he was glorified for choosing to act and being a Kshatriya than lowering his head and being friends, acting like a friend with those who took the opponent's party. And here, Krishna is showing even Bhishma and Drona, for choosing to remain on the side of Adharma, they are going to get killed. Even though they are considered, Bhishma is considered unconquerable in the battle. It doesn't matter. If you choose the side of Adharma, you will be annihilated. Of course, Bhishma was a great devotee, a great Mahajana. So why did he choose the side of Adharma? So Krishna chooses his great devotees sometimes to display some lesson, to showcase some lesson that if you do this, it doesn't matter how great you are, you will get annihilated. And Bhishma was glad, happy to play part of that role that Krishna wanted him to. Even if people misunderstood him, that is the greatness of Bhishma. So duty is, Krishna is urging Arjuna, don't worry, be an instrument, do your duty nicely. Even though you know, sometimes we don't know, like in Arjuna's case, Krishna assured him that you are not going to die. These people are going to die. So do your duty confidently. But in many cases, we don't know what is going to happen. But still, we should not worry about what is the outcome. We should just depend on Krishna. Depend on Krishna means what Krishna has ordained for me, what gives Krishna pleasure. That is my duty. If I do it well, I'm succeeded. I have succeeded. Whether I win or not, it doesn't matter. For a soldier, if he dies or not, that's not the ultimate thing. Whether he fights and does his assignment of killing as many people or not without showing his back, that is his victory. So, the other thing to note here is that the terrible face of death is shown because death is a very painful process and nobody wants to talk about it, but everybody knows that death will come as sure as death, they say. So, there was one man who was very accomplished. He was having a good holiday and he was going past one public place and this devotee stopped him. This devotee was distributing books and he said, Sir, please take this book, Bhagavad Gita. And he said, no, why should I take this book? Why should I spend my money? No, this book makes you peaceful and happy. He said, no, I'm already peaceful and happy. I've already accomplished. I'm earning so much. I'm an important person in the society. I have a good family. No, this book relieves you of all the stress. No, I know how to keep out of my stress. See, I'm holidaying, I'm enjoying. I don't have any stress. So whatever this devotee started to tell, this man countered everything. Finally, he did not end up taking the book. So he left. But he kept his card, the visiting card, the devotee gave, the mantra card with his details. So the devotee was feeling bad that he was not able to convince this man of taking the book, such an important book. And if leaders of the society read this book, they can guide the society in the right way. And so he went back, he went to sleep, but late in the night he got a call. Hey, can you please come? It's urgent. Somebody important is looking for you. And then this man thought, oh, this man, what happened in the night? And they gave the location, and it must be something urgent or important. So immediately went there. It happened to be a hospital. And then they said, this man is on the deathbed. He got hit, got an accident, and he knows he's going to die, but he wanted to talk to you before he dies. And then this devotee goes there on his bed, and then this man is looking at the devotee and said, see, you said so many things, and I could not take the book. I gave an answer for everything. You should have said something. Maybe I should have taken the book. What is that? Death is for sure. How do you address death? How can you avoid death? Can this book answer that question? Yes. Bhagavad Gita is about solving these Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi, these four defects of existence: birth, death, old age, and disease. By going back to Godhead, going to our original home, where we can remain free of these four defects. So if you have told that maybe I should have taken the book, and while talking to the devotee he died. It's a fortunate death in one sense, because being in association with devotee is talking about Bhagavad Gita, definitely will get a higher life. But the point is that the death is going to be very painful. And this life, not many tell this truth, but our life is actually meant or supposed to be in preparation for this death. Because people usually are focused on enjoying life. They say YOLO, you only live once. It's out of ignorance. Oh, live, enjoy whatever you can. It is because of ignorance, insufficient knowledge. We got this human life after many, many millions of births, such a valuable human life where we can end this cycle of repeated birth and death. But again, we are making the same mistake. So we should not make that mistake. So there was one question asked to me: why does Krishna emphasize consciousness at death, which is much more uncontrollable than consciousness while living? Because Krishna said, Antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram yah prayati samadbhavam. At the time of death, if you think of me, then you come to me. But consciousness at the time of death is very, very uncontrollable. Then why does Krishna emphasize that? Actually, the answer is Krishna emphasizes both. Even though that is the end goal, at the time of death, one should think of Krishna. But in order to reach there, in order to be at that position, One has to live a life of Krishna consciousness. That is why he says, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yudhyacha. How you should live your life is also Krishna is saying. At all times, sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yudhyacha. You should think of me in the form of Krishna and at the same time go on with your duty of fighting. In case of Arjuna, it is fighting. In case of us, it is doing our duties, whatever it is. But we should have a practice of remembering Krishna. For those who cannot always do that, they have to take vows of at least remembering Krishna by chanting certain number of malas, certain number of mantras. So at least you are making a practice of remembering Krishna throughout your life. And one should increase that commitment up to at least 16 rounds a day if one wants to, if one is serious to make their life perfect. Of course, Kirtaniya Sadaharihi, one should always remember and chant, but at least the minimum rounds are given so that the mind usually says, sometimes I ask somebody, are you chanting? Oh, Prabhuji, I always chant. Chanting goes on. I don't have to count. That means the mind is tricking them. Oh, you're always chanting. Why do you need to count? In fact, they may not be chanting even one round. So the Sankhya is also important so that the mind doesn't trick you. At least do that much first before thinking of doing more. That is why take the vows, keep up the vows, and additional services are given for a devotee life. You see a devotee in the temple, one who has joined the temple living as a brahmachari. There are so many services given so that throughout the day he is engaged in remembering Krishna. Accomplishing on a material platform is something which may or may not happen. But the idea behind that service is he's accustomed to think, oh, I'm doing this for Krishna. So, similarly, we should also plan our day. Of course, we have duties, we have livelihood aspects, but having understood the importance of Krishna consciousness, should prioritize. We should learn how to prioritize our chanting, our services, so on and so forth, so we can become successful. Because we should always see at the time of death, what am I doing now in order to help myself at the time of death? I'll stop here. Anyone has any questions or comments? Bhagavad Gita as it is ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.